Live from Twitch.tv, it's Vtuber Talk with Lain Blanc. Well, we're already off to a great start. I kind of scuffed that opening because, yes, I am doing narration for my own opening, but oh well. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vtuber Talk. I'm Jay, and I'm going to be your host, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Do let me know if any of the audio is too loud, be it my voice or the BGM. But this being our first broadcast, I figure I might as well let you all know what you're getting yourselves into. First off, I am not a VTuber, but I am someone who's been around the block in a variety of nerdy circles and has some experience with live production and organization. And over the past 6 months, I've fallen in love with the VTuber community. I wanted to get to know some more VTubers and figured, hey, why not help some other people get to know more VTubers at the same time? Combine that with having a bit too much time on my hands and, well, here we are. I am not here to be the star of the show. I'm here to be the host for the real stars, the guests, and to be a guide for all of you watching out there as we get to know some of the great VTubers in our community. I've designed this talk show to be as similar as possible to real late-night talk shows. I've got the big band opening theme, and I'm actually looking to license an even better one. I've got the opening monologue, which is going so-so, and you'll see the skyline background on the main stage soon enough. The other thing that I've done, which is standard for talk shows that viewers aren't necessarily always aware of, is pre-interviews, which is just what it sounds like, me talking with the guests for a short time before the show to build up a rapport and help get some ideas for talking points. This enables a more natural, engaging conversation for the show itself, but even though I have some bullet points here, this show is absolutely not scripted. I fully expect to go off the rails on wild tangents with my guests, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Up next, while I'm not starting this show to make a living, donations are always appreciated, and I do want to point out that all donations made during broadcasts are split 50-50 between myself and my guests. This is not just for tonight, it is a rule that will stand for every episode moving forward. Finally, while I like to think that I'm competent at a lot of things, one thing I know that I'm terrible at is graphic design. I'm currently using a pre-built overlay, my profile picture is colored bars, and the main stage you'll see in a moment is, well, shall we say humble. I've thrown something together, and while, talk shows live and die by the talk on their show, there's something to be said for having a good, proper, custom overlay. And that is why I am very much in the market for one. I already have my eye on a couple of artists that I want to commission, but I intentionally delayed doing a commission because I want to give the opportunity for those who are here tonight and their friends to get a chance at priority consideration. If you're taking the time to be here and support the show's debut, I want to return the gesture by giving you a chance to impact the show with your art. If this sounds like something that you or someone you know might be interested in, please reach out to me via Twitter. Rest assured, I do plan to pay the artist's full rate. I would not dream of insulting an artist by trying to pay an exposure. I pay cash and I tip an exposure. And if I'm able to commission a overlay, I plan to give the artist a full panel in the Twitch channel's description and mention them by name in every episode and do anything else I can to get their name out there. But that is after paying them their proper rate in cash. But for now, please do excuse my modest setup. But I think that's quite enough of me talking. For now, let's get the show on the road, shall we? My guest tonight is a ball-jointed doll VTuber, a member of Tomo Digi Project, and a mini-mod of the Aspiring VTubers Discord server. She's someone I'm proud to call a friend and honored to have here tonight for Vtuber Talk's debut. Please welcome Miss Lain Blanc. Lain, thank you.
Absolute pleasure to have you here. Have me here today with you, Jay. I know how to talk.
Yeah. Don't worry, we both know how to talk. But seriously, thank you so much for being here.
It's an honor.
Yeah,
it's an honor. I'm excited.
And
I see a bunch of lovely people already in our chat. Goodness.
Yes. Oh gosh. Well, so first off, this music, this lovely, lovely background music, I was scouring Dova Syndrome for all of the other pieces that have been played so far, but this one is yours. It's definitely something that I want to have as sort of a staple of this show, that while you may be coming onto my quote-unquote stage, I really like the idea of having the background music of the guest be playing, just one sort of helping you feel at home literally and figuratively, but also because the music certainly helps give viewers a sense of you and your personality. And I think that helps, people get to know you better than just having something more generic in the background. And this music's just gorgeous. I've been thinking about it, and I've said it sounds like Minecraft, but I think it's also like Minecraft plus Animal Crossing.
It's very special. Hey, it's Che on, I believe, both Twitch and Twitter. Gave me this as like both a gift for being just so welcoming and loving in the community, because Che is an absolute gentle, sweet soul, and I love him to pieces. So highly recommend you all check him out for your BGM and other needs. He does a lot. He's very, very fantastic. But when he tagged me in this BGM, it actually literally brought my doll self to tears, and it fits me in such a way. I wasn't prepared for someone who, and at the time we hadn't talked much, so he'd only had my overall visage to go off of, and the personality that he'd seen on Twitter to go off of, and he came up with this, and it fit me so well and hit so hard. I'm like, we're gonna be friends real fast.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you check out this gen.
Yeah, there's just something very raw, I suppose, with just the piano and the light flute. The tiniest bit melancholy, but certainly not sad. It's just wonderful.
I went ahead and dropped his in the chat.
Oh, how wonderful. So, Lain, while I'm sure there are many people in the chat who are familiar with you, for those who aren't, please tell us a bit about yourself. It can be your lore, the type of content you're best known for doing, anything that you think is important when getting to know Lain Blanc.
I can definitely do that. Good evening, everyone. As stated already, my name is Lain Blanc, and I am a ball-jointed doll. Now, when you hear ball-jointed doll, you may be familiar with like the doll feeds coming from like Volks and those companies, but I'm actually a BJD that originated in the 1800s from the origin of bisque porcelain. Now, don't ask me how old I am. That's rude. You never ask a woman how old they are. But I'll just say the 1800s if that gives you a very basic idea. Now, when it comes to that, though, I was brought to life. As you can tell, I'm talking with you, thanks to the love and power and the soul of all the different children who have owned me over the last, give or take 200 years. Yeah, exactly.
The last years, yes.
Yeah, well, I can say 200 years. That's not going to give you my age. I'm not 200 years old. How dare someone put that in my mouth?
No, certainly not.
My mouth. Certainly not. Now, I do have different heights when I'm in my doll form. I'm about 2 feet, about 60-something centimeters. I don't exactly remember what that translation is. And then I'm a 5'5" in my magic form, per se. So it is a very, yes, I was a BJD in the BJD scene before it was cool. Does that make me a boomer? Who knows? We'll find out.
So, and your art. So,
yes, my mama.
Yes, who is your mama?
My mama is Kumamori Gao from Komodaji Project as well. She has done my PNG that you see here on the screen, and she's actually in the midst of working on my live 2D model as we speak, and I'm very excited watching her progress. When you guys get to see me in full motion, you're not ready. I see someone in chat who's going to get grounded on a regular basis.
Oh dear. But wait a minute, does that make her both your mama and your papa, though?
No, she's not doing my rigging. She's just doing my animation.
Gotcha.
Just my art.
Fantastic. So, even though I suppose by certain standards you may not have had your proper debut yet, when did you have your, I suppose, PNG debut, as it were?
Oh goodness, my PNG debut was a good bit ago. I believe it was the mid-December, give or take, in an Among Us collab with oh bloody hell, what was their name? Mark. I can't remember their full Twitter, but Mark Azalea, or Azalea Mark. Absolute sweetheart, and so very sweet. Came together to do an Azalea Mark is their @ on Twitter. And they came together and put a big group of us for Among Us, and we did regular Among Us and hide and seek, and in our our practice rounds, I ended up scaring them all half to death, as they would say, as I murdered everyone in cold blood multiple times.
Isn't
But then
that
once the
like just a
actual stream
standard
happened,
horror movie trope? You know, the doll that comes to life and kills everyone?
don't give it away, J-chan. But but then once the actual stream started, I ended up imposter about 5-6 times in a row, and there was no getting around it, and I was snuffed out almost immediately every time.
Oh
Because
no.
no matter what I did, even though I tried to be clever, there was no escape. As when you're imposter that many times in a row, you're figured out really quickly.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're suspicious or not.
Yeah.
I got
when
blamed
it's
for
back to
others'
back.
kills, and it's like I wasn't even involved, but you know what? I guess this is happening.
Yeah, I always have the opposite problem where I just never get imposter and I'm still suspected anyways.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm a suspicious person, it seems. It's so sad. But anyways, that was your debut, but what have you been up to recently?
Recently, I'm actually, as stated, I'm in the midst of working with Kumori Gao in regards to getting my model finished. I've got a few collabs in the works that I can't quite talk about just yet until things have been finalized. Otherwise, I've been, actually, earlier today, I was at Nebula Dalmatian's debut. Absolute sweetheart. Please check her out, chat. She is a space doggo, as the kiddos say.
Yeah, I actually
And
popped
very,
in
very perfect.
for a few minutes myself, just multitasking at work, and she was doing a full-on history lesson of just, space exploration and different galaxies, different planets, and it was fascinating. Like,
Well, she is a part of the Juno too. She has to know her job very well, or she wouldn't be a very good member of the DISA.
for sure. That being the
No, I did
the
that.
Dog International.
The Dogs in Space Association.
Yes.
She is a very good space doggo, but I'm very, very proud of her. As well, right before this, I was hanging out with the best boy Huntieri in his stream. So that was a good time. And then, oh goodness, my Sundays have been taken up by Lucius Vampire in our Dating Sim Sundays, where we've been working with Dream Daddy and a lovely, lovely lady in our chat as we speak right now. We have renamed our Sundays to be Bully Sarah Sundays, as she's very, very easy to fluster.
Oh boy, oh boy. I assume that would be Seraphim in chat.
Yes, it is.
Oh dear.
I can already imagine her flustered right now.
I've popped in on those streams for just a couple minutes in the past. I'll have to spend a bit more time there this weekend. Luckily, my plans are free, so I'll definitely be tuning in for that. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if we're going to be doing things Sunday. It's up to Lucius and his schedule, so I will definitely let you know when things happen. I'm very excited, though.
Sounds great.
I'm not suddenly psychic. I've always been psychic. As we've discovered through our Dream Daddy playthroughs, unfortunately. I am both mother and father. When you've been around for as long as I have, you've seen both sides of parenting because of the children that I've been, owned by. And picking up dad puns and mom puns and jokes. Yeah, I'm really good at all of the above.
Well, I suppose on the topic of being motherly, so you are in the Aspiring VTuber Discord server. You're a mini-mod there, and you've mentioned that you've sort of become server mom.
Both in the Aspiring VTuber server as well as a couple others. I'm known as mom in more than one way. Some of them in the less say-so manner, thanks to some physical attributes, and then in other servers, he's in this lovely, lovely child of mine is actually in our chat right now, Anarchy Elvis, who has created a role for me in their server, and they've renamed it temporarily to Lane's Orphanage, where I have adopted a bunch of children. And I have the role of mother, and there's another role called Grounded, where I go through and just ground my children on a regular basis. So,
oh dear.
It is a time. I embrace my mother and my father aspects.
Well, that's just wonderful. That I have seen you around the Aspiring VTuber server, just, giving advice to people, helping out, and obviously being very supportive when it comes for debuts and everything of that sort. That it's really great to see, and that's also part of the reason why I wanted to really have you on tonight, because I know that you are someone that, despite the fact that you have not had a proper debut yourself, you go out of your way to help people and be welcoming, and it's just something that's great to see. And as a whole, the VTuber community has just proven to be almost startlingly wholesome and just welcoming to everyone in general, but you certainly help exemplify that, and I just think it's fantastic.
It's been, for lack of better terms, completely integral. I've noticed that since my very first owner up to now, there's a very startling lack of just genuine appreciation, love, and support for everyone within your friend circle or community, just things like that. So when you have that support, for whatever reason, it seems to startle people because in the last, years, the genuine honesty and support behind someone's words seems to be lacking. And so I understand what it's like. I was inanimate for a very long time. So if I can give someone that love and support and let people know that you're not alone. I know what it's like to be alone and need someone when you need it the most, thanks to my very first owner. And if I can be that person for someone, I want to be, because no one deserves to be alone. People deserve to have the support and promotion and love that they deserve. And so if I can, even if just a little bit, I want to be able to support that because people deserve it. And this community has been so open, welcoming, and just, as you said, wholesome, or as the VTubers say so. It brought me to a genuine tear a few times.
Yeah, same here. And for me, that's a lot of why I wanted to start this show, just being able to introduce people to, new VTubers and really just spreading the love, as it were, because I accept, like I said, I'm no VTuber. I'm not really the type to be the star of the show, but if I can be, for lack of a better term, an enabler here, or, someone who can just help introduce others to people like you and really sort of, evangelize the VTuber community, as it were, I feel like that's the best way that I'm able to contribute, and everyone just sort of doing their part and helping create positivity.
My current owner, I can see her from across the room, and she's just rapidly shaking her head in agreement, very, very understanding, and it's making me laugh quite a bit.
Also, hello to Toki Talk in the chat.
We love Toki in this household.
Yes, indeed. Toki is one of the main moderators of the Aspiring VTuber Discord server that we've been mentioning, and he also started a talk show of his own just the other day. Beat me to the punch by about 48 hours, but his show was fantastic, and I hope that between my show and his that we're able to start, a good foundation of talk shows just for the community, because goodness knows there's so many just amazing VTubers out there that neither of us would be able to interview everyone on our own anyways, and his show is definitely different from how I've structured mine. I think it's great that we have the personalities, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Toki Talk's show ends up growing as well. He certainly has a much better overlay than I have. So yeah, I need to actually ask him about the artist.
He come off a little goofy sometimes, but we really do enjoy and love Toki in this dollhouse.
If you're not a little bit goofy, then it's now fun. But yeah, so I suppose you mentioned Gao. I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on her full name, but yes, Kumamori Gao. That she did your PNG, she's doing your 2D model, and she is part of Tomo Digi Project. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So, Tomo Digi Project, a play on the Japanese word for friend, tomodachi. We are your digital friends, because we are like a toy house, a doll house, as I would like to say, of friends. We have me, Lain Blanc, I'm your doll. Then we've got Kumamori Gao, who is a stuffed bear. We've got Matsui Muga, who is a cute little hamster who was born in a strawberry field and ended up finding her way and got lost inside a dollhouse. Then we've got Melopion, who is a special little rabbit. He's a very, very sweet rabbit. And then our newest addition is Cyber Girl, who is, for lack of better terms, a rainbow Dakota frog, and she is so very sweet. We have a very good group of toy and small critter related friends that we've all come together to become your digital friends.
That's great. Yeah. I know that if you go to Lain's Twitter, that you can find the TomoDigi project handle, and she is frequently tweeting and talking with the other members of the project. So do give them all a follow when you're able to.
We're not the most active as a unit right now. We're all working on ourselves and working on building ourselves personally before we bring TomoDigi together as an actual quote-unquote unit, rather than being things like, for lack of better terms, V-Shoujo or Hololive. We're more just a group of friends who really all enjoy each other's company and wanted to come together as a group of friends to create content for others. But we wanted to get more familiar and comfortable with ourselves and the people around us before we started doing things universally as a unit.
Makes total sense, and I am very much familiar with that sort of approach of just, a bunch of friends coming together under a shared banner to just create different types of content and experiences, and that even if you are a bunch of individuals, that type of sort of parallel collaboration is just very rewarding and very healthy in its own way, because it allows everyone to still be themselves. You don't really need to be constrained by a particular brand image or fit the group necessarily, that you have that level of freedom, but you're very much able to have a rising tide lifts all ships scenario.
Most certainly, most certainly. They are all very near and dear to my heart, and I've been around with them for a very long time, both in terms of just as a doll in the dollhouse and in terms of streaming and working together with each other as VTubers. They are all very important people, and I cannot sing enough praise for all of them. Oh, I teared up a little bit talking about them. That should say something.
Yeah, definitely I'm going to have to look into having the others on as guests at some point.
I highly recommend it. And that's not just because of my bias.
So, obviously you've mentioned doing Among Us streams. I know you've done some Phasmophobia streams. You mentioned the Dream Daddy streams. What types of games or anime or music do you like just consuming in your free time? That when you're not actually broadcasting, what sort of things do you really just enjoy for enjoyment?
So, if it's not blatantly obvious so far based on some of the things you've said, I really enjoy the horror genre. Actually, just a bit ago, I marathoned the entirety of Netflix's the Korean adaptation. Sorry, I got distracted. I do always end up with a knife in Phasmophobia, as I am Lain, the knife crab. But marathoned all of Netflix's adaptation of the Korean webtoon Sweet Home just a bit ago. It was absolutely phenomenal. I love puzzle games and mysteries, and actually, contrary to popular belief, I really, really have a soft spot for, I'm calling myself out here a little bit, for shoujo and slice of lifestyle creations. They are so very soft, and just, I'm soft for a good romance.
I'm sensing some conflicting interests here. So we have the knife-wielding, horror game, horror series loving, and then shoujo. But
okay. It's look, there is a difference in wielding a knife and chasing after my comrades in Phasmophobia and sitting down on the couch with a box of tissues and a tub of ice cream crying over some perfectly good chips in a shoujo. Like, they can coincide. They can coincide beautifully together. I just don't tend to talk about the latter half very often because I don't want to be bullied. I am a mature, demure woman. I like being seen as such, and maybe I just have a soft spot. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, speaking of being a mature woman, very classy, one thing that you mentioned that you are very passionate about is tea. All the way to the point where your go live hashtag is Lane's Tea Time. So I myself am a very mid-grade tea drinker that I'm at the point where I don't like Lipton anymore, but I certainly don't have like a particularly refined palate. I'm stumbling over my words here, goodness. So for everyone in the audience, and also just for me selfishly, like, what are some of your favorite teas? Because I need some suggestions.
So it depends. Tea is. Oh, I love tea. Bloody hell, I love tea. Tea has a lot of varieties and a lot of different types.
For
There
sure.
are the 6 most popular varieties. You've got black, green, herbal, white, oolong, and rooibos. And each of them both has different ideal temperature for brewing, ideal time for brewing, the method of brewing, whether or not you have it in glass or ceramic, whether or not you're using loose leaf or in a packed form. They're all very different and have their different variances. I happen to be a rather large fan of the black and white tea varieties. Black is usually made from the Camellia sinensis tea plants. They're usually on the full oxidization in terms of leaves. So you'll see them with your Darjeeling teas, your Earl Greys, English breakfast, Assams. They're the ones most commonly used in what do the kids call it? Boba tea, milk tea. I recently got turned on to royal milk tea thanks to Gao and Muga, and it's very, very delightful. It's a little sweet for my taste.
Yeah,
but
I
very
actually
good.
just got into milk tea myself recently. That when I was out shopping, I got a box of just packets that you just mix in with water or milk. So I still very lazy there, but I can definitely.
It's still a start. It's still a start.
And
It's probably got more of a taste along the line of like white or oolong.
yeah,
So they're both made with the Camellia sinensis as well, but it depends on the level of oxidization, which is how the tea leaves are processed and brewed. So the various level of oxidization depends on like the type of tea. So like white and oolong tend to be really good for prepackaged teas. So you have like your silver needles, the white peonies, the Tihuan Yin, Dangkong, or translation, like your phoenix teas and such. So your oolongs and the white. But they all vary, and prepackaged is very interesting because you have to brew it at a specific temperature so it doesn't turn out bitter. And I know some people think that tea in general is bitter, even with a little bit of like sugar or cream or honey, whatever you want to pair with it. But tea in of itself is very, very, very fragile, much like I am. And I know you mentioned previously, my live tag is Lane's Tea Time. When you think of a doll and you think of young children, what do you think of? You think of children throwing tea parties with their toys. And, if that's not the most on brand thing, I don't know what
that
is.
never even occurred to me, but now it just like
Right?
it makes even more sense than before, because initially I just had the idea of, all right, Lane, classy, just drinking tea, but I had not made the connection with, just the gold standard of, just children running tea parties. That's just fantastic.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like my name, how itself is a pun. My very first owner, love her to pieces. Very, very sweet little girl. Unfortunately, obviously, with how times work, she's no longer with us. But I inherited her family name. I figured it would be a good homage to the very first person who gave me my name. She gave me the name Lain, and Lain Blanc. If you look at it, Lain is a play on porcelain, and Blanc is the French word for white. So white porcelain. White bisque porcelain. So my name is a whole pun in of itself, and I really like puns. There's something I had to
Toki,
grow
thank you for the
into in
follow.
the last couple years, but it's been a very fun time learning, as they call it, dad jokes and puns. They're really interesting, and for whatever reason, make me giggle profusely.
Indeed, they are a strange dark art puns that you need to be careful who you use them around. Some people take great offense to puns and will sometimes tell you to get out of a place, even if you can't really get out of the place. It is rather baffling, but I do enjoy the art of a good fun.
To me a few times.
But so I guess back on tea for a moment. I definitely prefer black tea myself at usually 1 sugar. My sort of tech when it comes to tea is if you're looking for a good, cheap brand of tea, so like something that is as cheap as Lipton, but a million times better, the brand name is called Red Rose.
Red Rose is very good.
It's not carried by all major supermarkets, but if you're able to find it, it's, like $3-4 for 100 tea bags, and it's really, really good for the price. Certainly it's not going to stand up to something from a specialty store, but in terms of, prepackaged tea of that nature, I have not been able to find anything better than Red Rose.
Red Rose is definitely really good. In terms of prepackaged, Tazo, I guess, is okay if you're in a pinch. There's only one, I guess they call it flavor of Tazo that I like, and it's called the Passion. It's really good with just a bit of honey and lemon. Oh, absolutely divine. But the others just, they're kind of, I guess, overbrewed, even prematurely is the best way to explain them. They come off very dry and bitter in the taste, so it's lacking a lot of like the deep flavors that come with a good tea. But then you have things like Twinnings. Twinnings can be okay depending on the tea itself.
Yeah,
they're very mixed.
The Twinnings Irish breakfast tea I've found to be pretty good.
It can be good. A lot of Twinnings also depends on the batch, because I've had like one batch of Twinnings that was absolutely phenomenal, and another batch of Twinnings that just was so sad that I kind of had to force myself to drink my way through the box, because I'm not going to waste it. Why waste it?
Yeah, you can't waste good tea.
Garbage, it's good. It wasn't good tea, honey. Let me just tell you that. But it's I guess it depends on when the tea leaves themselves are picked and processed. But Twinnings, it has its moments when it's pretty good.
Have you ever considered doing just a tea stream, whether it be, tasting,
you
like line up, 10 different teas, make them?
I do plan on that. Once I have my model set up, I plan on doing a couple of tea streams as well, tea cocktail streams.
Ooh.
So I'll make a bunch of cocktails with tea. The lovely Raina, the Struggled Artist, she and I have had a couple talks about it. She'll be joining me for one of my first tea cocktail streams, where we'll make a bunch of cocktails with tea, and I'm very excited about that.
You'll need to tell me like when you're doing that, because I might just buy the teas that you're going to be having. That way I can sort of drink along. That not going to be on the stream or anything, but that way I can actually sort of have that experience as well. Plus,
of course.
Hopefully it would lead to me finding a couple new ones that I like.
Well.
Yeah. Oh man, because there is such a science, and you're obviously very well versed in it, because it's something that I've always had a basic comprehension of the depth of science and subtlety behind teas, even if I don't have the
tea.
That is one of those pun things that we were talking about earlier. I walked right into that one. Goodness. I walked right into that. Moving on.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I get the feeling we could talk tea forever, but we do still have plenty of other things to talk about as well. So we went over
I can
games.
Feel the chat just eye-rolling.
Oh yes. No, there have been several. So I do know that you enjoy anime. I know that you haven't been able to watch as much as you'd like recently, but I suppose what are some of your favorites, or whatever you've been watching recently?
So what have I been watching recently? I picked up Horimiya.
Oh yes, I saw that because it just premiered.
I finished reading all of it. Yes, I finished reading all of it the other day because I saw the design for Miyamura and went, oh no, I love him, and decided to marathon it, and just actually right before this stream finished reading all of it that was available, and cried profusely because, oh my goodness, they're so pure and I love them. But I've been watching Horimiya. What else have I been watching? Yashahime, that one's been good. Higurashi, obviously. Oh goodness. I actually recently, thanks to the absolutely epic community, specifically Reina, Carrot, Meeps, and Fluba, picked up Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Oh, that is one of my personal favorites.
That was a very, very good time. Ended up covering Daddy Daddy Do, the second opening.
Yes,
which
I saw
was a
that.
good time. It was very interesting learning the song, or at least what bits of it I did learn, because the female voice stuck out to me almost immediately. And through my research, discovered that Airi Suzuki, who is the female voice for Daddy Daddy Do, is one of the vocalists from the Hello Project group Wono, who did a bunch of the endings for Shugo Chara back in the day. And it just, wow, that was a big loop of Small World.
Yeah, I know actually, Daddy Daddy Do, so just earlier today, Crunchyroll released the nominees for their annual anime awards, and Daddy Daddy Do is one of the nominees for Best Opening of the Year, and I think it is a very well-placed nomination. Fantastic
very
song.
Very well placed.
Yeah, because, have you yet, or just season 1 of Kaguya-sama?
I finished 1. I have not finished 2. I'll actually pull up the Crunchyroll Awards so we can discuss some of them because I've got some opinions based off of it. I know Anime of the Year has some very interesting nominees.
Yeah, I actually think this is probably the best slate. I think this is actually the best slate that the Anime Awards has ever had. That I think it's just got a lot of really strong ones.
Balanced.
There's a couple curveballs.
It feels really balanced between, yeah.
And I think part of it is that there wasn't as much My Hero this year. Don't get me wrong, I adore My Hero
100%.
Academia.
My Hero and Demon Slayer. Those two were like the biggest hitters of the year prior and took up like everything. There was no escaping that. Like, there was no escaping the good boys. Between Tanjiro and Deku, there was no escaping the good boys. I may or may not have just spilled a little bit of soup on myself at the soup store. So. Oh, I think we broke J-chan. Are you still there? Well, I think we broke him, so I'm going to carry a little bit while he is getting things fixed. So, for Anime of the Year, it's got a couple of things set up. I believe the 6 nominations were Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Great Pretender, Appare Ranman, Jujutsu Kaisen, Dorohedoro, and Beastars. Of those 6, my number 1 ends up being Dorohedoro due to heavy bias. I love the manga. And the overall animation and like the opening, the music, absolutely phenomenal. Eizouken is a very, very, very close second with Beastars in third. I feel like though it's gonna be Jujutsu Kaisen. There you are.
I don't know what happened. I was terrified that my internet had gone down or something, but for some reason my microphone just spazzed out, so got it fixed. So, thank goodness, but hey, what is a debut stream without a bit of scuffing?
Embrace the scuff in this household. Embrace the scuff in this household.
Yes, but I did still hear everything that you said, and so keep going.
So I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen's gonna get that Anime of the Year simply because it's the one that had the biggest
It's the Shonen Jump representative.
It's the Shonen Jump representative.
That's the thing that just the 3 that are just up and down these nominee lists are Great Pretender, Eizouken, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Personally, I hold Eizouken rather. Eizouken and Great Pretender are actually my 1 and 2 for Best Anime of the Year.
I still haven't watched Great Pretender, but Eizouken holds a very special place in my heart. That opening is absolutely phenomenal. I know Eizouken's Midori was nominated for Best Pro Tag, and along with, honestly, my vote's going to someone that's probably not going to get it for Best Protagonist, but I love her with all of my heart, even if she is a baka, as the kids would say.
Katarina.
Bakarina.
Bakarina, yes.
Klaus. Bakarina Klaus.
Yes,
Love
we
that
love
woman.
villainess in this house.
We
And
love.
so
we
actually,
love a
I
villainess in this
actually
house.
I voted. So you're allowed to vote once a day, and the voting period is open now up through, I believe, next Saturday. And I actually did vote Katarina because while Midori is great, I feel like she is not inherently the protagonist of Eizouken. I feel like the three main girls as a unit are the protagonists, but I don't necessarily hold Midori over the others. However, on the subject of Best Girl, we do have one of them as nominee, and that is also my pick for Best Girl. Because
I haven't gotten to Best Girl yet. I've pulled up the next category is Best Antagonist, and while I would love to give my antagonistic vote to N from Dorohedoro because I absolutely love Dorohedoro, I feel like it goes to Overhaul because My Hero Season 4 was so pivotal in terms of the entire story for My Hero, but there's also Akito from Fruits Basket.
Akito Soma is my personal pick. Because Soma is a special type of villain, of just
very special.
Terrible person.
We can't discuss any more about this character because reasons. But no, Akito is Akito, and those are my best bet. Who are the votes for Best Boy?
There was a
there's a really weird list.
Yeah, so Best Boy is a weird list. Best Girl is flipping stacked. But
okay, so
Best Boy, I vote Anos Voldigode from Misfit of Demon King Academy. That series is just... It had no right to be as good as it was. It wasn't a phenomenal series. It should not win Anime of the Year, but it was fun and it was colorful, and Studio Silverlink did a great job with it.
I feel like my answer is going to Legoshi, or Legoshi, based off of the pronunciation from a different country. But of those, so I've only seen 2 of these. I've seen the Dorohedoro and Beastars. So the categories are Dorohedoro, Tower of God, Demon King Academy Misfit, Jujutsu Kaisen, Beastars, and Haikyuu. And I've only seen 2 of those. I don't really care for Haikyuu, unfortunately. I feel like I'm going to get attacked for this one a little bit because...
Don't worry, I haven't seen Haikyuu either.
I haven't touched Jujutsu Kaisen, even though it's blowing up.
I saw Kaisen. It was good. I would put it in my top 10 for the year. I do not think it should win Anime of the Year, but I do agree that being from Shonen Jump gives it a very big leg up. But I do think there actually has been enough groundswell from Eizouken to give it a run for its money.
I just opened up Best Girl.
Best Girl, like, it's stacked. It's stacked.
So Eizouken's Sayaka is absolutely top tier. Dorohedoro's Noi, my god, I'm in love with that woman. I don't know Abigail from Great Pretender, but she's very pretty and I love her. Rent-A-Girlfriend Chizuru is the absolute worst girl of these 6. Like, she is... I have words about that girl, and she is not deserving of Best Girl. Bakarina is top tier, and then Kaguya is top tier. Oh, just like, wow, Best Girl is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, and I love that of all the girls from Eizouken, that it's Kanamori who got the nomination.
Oh, of course it's Kanamori.
It's great. And I think I vote Kanamori.
No, how dare they? The best opening sequence? Oh no. Keep on about Kanamori. I'm looking at the nominations.
Well, I don't want to just turn this into an entirely anime award stream, even though I personally love that. I do want to make sure that the listeners can get more of it. But yeah, pick a couple categories that you like while I talk a bit about Kanamori.
The opening sequence physically hurts my soul because, if as you've seen through my Twitter and my Twitch, I'm a vocalist and I really appreciate music. So going through and just music side as well as animation side, the fact that they've nominated, Daddy Daddy Do, Wild Side, and Easy Breezy, those are all phenomenal. And while my bias wants to go to some of these, I have to also look at it objectively in terms of the animation, because Easy Breezy was animated beautifully. So was Wild Side with that stop motion. And then Daddy Daddy Do, while the song's what do the kids say, a bop? It's really, really good, but the animation was, just really pretty animation. So I feel like it would either go to Wild Side or Easy Breezy.
Yeah, my pick is either Easy Breezy or I still like Daddy Daddy Do a lot. That it didn't necessarily do anything revolutionary, but I thought it was still just very well positioned, and it acted as a great opening for Kaguya-sama. That it was very much on brand, as it were.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, winding back for a minute while you look at the other categories, Kanamori from Eizouken is just this. She is not the pretty one. She is the snarky one. She's the business person. She is the producer of it. So I identify with her greatly, first off. And the thing is, she's very rough around the edges, but gosh, she has got a heart of gold. And just, she's almost tsundere in the sense that she makes you think that she doesn't care about anything other than money. But in actuality, goodness, still stumbling over my words, she cares about everything that isn't money, and money is simply the vehicle by which she tries to help
Isn't she also the one
everyone.
that was obsessed with milk, if I recall?
Yes. Favorite drink is milk.
Good. I thought I remembered that. I'm looking at this list still, and I see Best Drama, and Sarah here in our chat would be in agreement with me that Fruits Basket reigns supreme.
Yeah, just...
Because Fruits Basket, the fact that they're doing it properly and going through and animating the entirety of the manga has hit me and my owner personally in ways that neither of us were prepared for, because my owner at least has grown up on this manga, and it's got a lot of very, very personal feelings for her. And so seeing how my owners reacted to it and just going through with her and watching this show develop and in its proper, iteration, it hurts so good, as Sarah here has said. And it's just, wow, getting to see this in the proper, way it's meant to be viewed means so much.
Yeah, and just the animation is so clean. The vocal performances are just...
Top tier.
Yeah. So fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to the last season.
Times.
Yeah.
Let's see, the next one, Best Couple? How dare they hit me like this? Some of these aren't even actually couples, though. That's the one thing that always bothers me with their best couple.
Best couple is sort of an awkward one, because just the couples are products of their series and their surroundings, so it's sort of difficult to compare, I suppose, in that sense. But
well, it's like you see Tonikawa Over the Moon. That's, they're a married couple. You get Kaguya-sama. They're not technically a couple, even though they're a couple, but they're not a couple. You get Beastars, where they're not a couple, but they're a couple. That's also weird. I'm not familiar with Inspector, so I can't make any comment on that one. You get My Next Life as a Villainess, where Bakarina is a baka and doesn't understand anything, but, I have a soft spot for the fact that it's Bakarina and Maria that were nominated.
I'm kind of upset that it's not Maria, that it should have just been Maria and everyone.
No, it should have been Bakarina.
Or sorry, we have not Maria and everyone. It should have been Katarina and everyone.
I agree. But, I mean, that would defeat the purpose of Best Couple. And then you get Rent a Girlfriend, which I feel is a cop-out.
Yeah, little bit. But,
ooh,
hey.
Best Fantasy? Oh, this is probably... This one's difficult.
I had to say ReZero just because ReZero Season 2 was really good, and the new episode yesterday was just... So first off...
I haven't watched it. The only ones of these 6 nominated that I've seen have been Ascendance of a Bookworm and Dorohedoro.
Ascendance of a Bookworm is delightful.
I have an absolute bias for, because the opening and ending are sung by Megumi Nakajima and Minori Suzuki? Minoringo and Gumi. I have heavy bias. And then Dorohedoro is also one that I have a heavy bias for. But I know Dorohedoro is going to be stuck behind a wall for a lot of these nominations, because it was
Netflix.
It was Netflix.
And it's the same thing that I'm happy to see that Great Pretender got so many nominations. I would say Great Pretender was my favorite anime of 2020. I would say that the best anime of 2020 was Eizouken, though. But I feel like
Oh yeah.
Great Pretender's
Eizouken, I
probably
feel like,
going
is
to
gonna
get
get-
shafted
oh,
a little bit because, being in Netflix jail, that it's not going to be as widely watched. So I'm, at the very
Anything
least,
that
happy
got
that
Netflix
it...
jailed will
Yeah.
be destroyed.
But I'm
And
happy
then
it's
you
at least gotten so
have-
many nominations.
Yeah.
But ReZero Season 2, did you see Season 1?
I did watch season 1. That's all
Season
I've
2
watched,
is an
unfortunately.
improvement, and just Studio White Fox has apparently disdain for
Didn't
opening
White
and
Fox
ending
also do Magus Bride?
I believe so.
I'm almost positive they did Magus Bride, so I have a very heavy bias for Studio White Fox.
Yeah, so the thing about this season...
No, it was Wit Studio that
Oh,
did
that was
Magus.
Wit. Yeah. But, so White Fox has had opening and ending sequences in 2 episodes this season. So, in the first half that was, broadcast last year, and of the 2 episodes that have already broadcast this year, only 2 of them have actually had an opening and ending sequence. All of the others have had credits over just more content. So we're talking, 23 and a half minutes of everything, because usually it's only 21, 22 because you get a minute and a half for the opening, minute and a half for the ending. This week's episode of ReZero had no opening, no ending, and clocked in at 27 and a half minutes.
Nice.
That,
Also,
like,
sidebar, a little wine ASMR for our chat.
Yay!
I've got a lovely
Blank.
glass of some. Yes, I've got a lovely glass of some crisp rosé here.
Nice. Also, sorry, not sorry to everyone in chat that this has kind of become anime talk and not VTuber talk, but hey, you're still getting to know Lain Blanc, so it's not false advertising.
No, but it still works because, as I've discovered through the VTuber community, the varying types of tastes, both in terms of games and anime, music, all are very integral to developing these different characters and people that VTubers like myself and many others are portraying. So you have, me, obviously I'm more, I guess I'd say dark, but I'm really not, although I look quite dark compared to the rest of my members of Tomal Digi. But where I'm, are horror-based, very maternal,
Yeah, I feel like
mature, demure.
you-
And then you have, Cybergirl, who's a walking Lisa Frank folder.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way. I guess for you strike me as sort of the Onesan, just while
Yeah, a
everyone
little
does
bit.
call you server mom and everything, that I guess it I don't know, maybe it's just me that you seem sisterly, but regardless, you just have that wonderful welcoming personality of just
Well, it's like-
someone who cares.
For lack of better terms, it's every single voice chat that I have been in since I have become a VTuber. If anyone new joins the call and is in there for a few minutes, the number one comment and or phrase that gets uttered when I'm in said voice chat is, "Wow, Lain, you sound a lot like Calliope Mori." And
Hey, there's worse people to be compared to.
I know, exactly. It's first off, wow, Callie, DM me please. God, I love you. But she actually liked my New Year's post and I cried profusely. But Callie, absolutely wonderful person, and being compared and complimented in that manner means a lot to me because Callie is absolutely phenomenal. But it also says something about me as me as a person, because both my intonation and overall way that I speak, as well as my personality, reminds people of someone like Callie. It means a lot because it's just oh, I remind you of someone that you really like and I really like. Well, that's a compliment of the highest manner.
For sure, yeah.
And so being compared to someone, and it's never been in one of those manners where it's I'm being compared to Miss Callie in the manner of, "Oh, you're trying to copy Miss Callie," or, "Oh, you remind me too much of Callie, you should probably adjust yourself a little bit." No, it's never been anything like that. It's always been in a good manner, which is a good thing because, comparing people amongst these others has been really weird and very rude if you're asking me. But
there's a difference
also
of
says
saying it's all in the phrasing of they're saying that you remind them of Callie. They're not saying, oh, you seem like you're copying Callie, or you seem like an off-brand Callie. That it's the subtle difference of reminding somebody of somebody else and them feeling that you are trying to actively emulate them.
Exactly. Well, now I have done that a little bit intentionally. With the fact that it has happened so many times and I've been mistaken for Callie, I have unabashedly learned a couple of her songs.
Well,
to be able,
there's a difference between, leaning into something when you notice comparison, but you're entire. But you did not. Lain Blanc is not built around Calliope Mori.
No, definitely not. Which is, one of the most important things, because individuality and originality is very important, especially in the VTuber community, where it's such a vast and wide community, and there's so many of us, and we all have our own different takes and views and personalities and tastes, but we all still have a common goal at hand of being, pardon me, goodness, streamers that have a goal of, interacting with the people that are listening to them and being friends with them and, our viewers. So it's always a big adventure every day going, I wonder what these people are going to think today. And just creating. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, that's basically why I wanted to do this, because I like getting to know people, and I recognize that my particular talents aren't quite what would be necessary to be a VTuber, but if I'm able to, help in this way, I'm already having a lot of fun. I certainly hope you're having fun.
Definitely.
So on the topic of, there are so many VTubers, both established and aspiring, do you, I suppose, even if you're not basing yourself around somebody, do you have any inspirations or just people who you look up to? Obviously, Callie is, goes without saying, but is there anybody else that you really sort of attribute to either getting you into VTubers as a whole, or somebody who, when you were just getting started, that you were thinking, all right, I want to try and pick up certain cues, or not necessarily personality mannerisms, but, just I want to be able to operate my streams like this person?
For me, yes and no. There are a couple people like that, but less in the manner of, emulation, imitation is the finest form of flattery, more in this person believes in me, so I want to work my hardest. So, the person who really got me into VTubing was my little strawberry ham-ho, Matsumi Muga. She was the one who really, really got me working on it. Muga and Gal were the ones who got me the most into the idea of being a VTuber of my own accord. And, going from, having tea parties with my owner and just sitting around being, as my roommate lovingly calls me, the bougie roommate, and to turning into VTubing, it's been a lot of fun and very interesting, because Gao and Muga have been so influential on it. But then there's other people who have really super influenced me, like Nidoku. He's been an absolute sweetheart, my loving child. And Huntieri, love him. I've mentioned him briefly in our pre-interview, but I found him through. So us VTubers have this thing where we drop our PNGs in Twitter threads, and they'll either respond with something that reminds you of them, or do a tier list. And since I can't say the word that was involved, Huntieri was doing a how hard would I love you, in a manner where I would love to shrimp. I would love to shrimp for you, tier list, and Huntieri had me ranked really high, and that's how I stumbled across him, and it hit me in a really hard way, a really close manner, having this person who I'd never interacted with before going, wow, I really love your design, and you're really talented, and ranked me really high, and then, we've become friends through them, and through him I've met Reina, Carrot, Fluba, Meeps, Nebula, and them, a group of people. And they've all been so influential on me because they're so fun to interact with. But Hunty specifically has a very special place in my heart, just because of that initial interaction, and that interaction has brought me so much. So he's a very, very, very special place in my heart. then like Lucius Vampire, getting to do the Dream Daddy streams with him and meet others like Anarchy Elvis and Seraphim here in our chat, as we see right now. I met through Lucius as well. So it's just, rather than having people be inspirational for my character and personality, it's more just they've been impactful on me as a person and what they have brought me. The same semblance can go to, the entire Aspiring VTuber server with Fumiko, Toki, Nido, Yuki, like everyone in there has brought so much to me in terms of friendship and uh, learning and just experiences, things that I didn't know that I needed and wanted until I got it, and it means so much. I'm tearing up a little bit talking about all of these people and how much they mean to me. It's a really big thing to suddenly go from, moving with my owner halfway across the state to being so very alone and then given this wide community full of friends that all welcome me and show me love and appreciation in ways that I didn't realize I would been needing. That it just, I don't think I could ever thank VTubing enough for giving me this like sense of belonging.
One of the questions I was going to ask is, what does being a VTuber mean to you? I think you beat me to the punch there.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. That was just wonderful and heartfelt and just so genuine, and that's one of the things that I've really found with VTubers as a whole, that while you have something of a mask and something of a role, that the genuine personality comes through for sure, and that just people, like I said, this community is just so wholesome that it's still not a really mainstream thing. And everyone here, just whether they be just a VTuber fan or a VTuber themselves, is generally speaking going to be in some nerdy circle or just nerdy geeky community. Those are the rivers that feed into VTubing, as it were. And it just seems that, especially in a time where physical connection with others is not very possible, VTubing has very much come around just at the right time, it seems, to allow for this emotional connection. And just, even though there isn't, someone physically in front of you, and even though what people see on screen is either, a PNG or a rigged model, that the connections are still very genuine, and the personalities here are just positive. People aren't coming here
it's been something
just
really
to...
big, like the other night. This is actually a shout out to the absolutely epic community with like Carrot, Huntieri, Isami, Kurai, Fluba, Meeps, Sotaka, and Reina specifically. The other night I was feeling really down, and this also goes out to people like Pastel, Archie, and Sarah. Like everyone in these communities, it's been so open and honest and welcoming, because everyone is just like, hey, there is still a person behind the visage of being a VTuber. So like, yes, we are all VTubers, and I guess quote unquote we are considered characters, but there are still, people behind these visages everyone has to understand. And so being able to step back and still be appreciated as more than just, for lack of better terms, oh no, he's here. No, stop, I'm embarrassed now. Oh, I can feel the blush. Oh, wow. Stop, Jake, shut up. But just to be able to step back, and understand that we are allowed to be human, and we are allowed, well, humanity's kind of gross, I'm not gonna say that, but we are allowed to have human emotions and step back and just be appreciated as people outside of our, overall characters and visages. So having the understanding there that we are still important, even if, a streamer or not, it means so very much. And the friendships that I've seen built, the support systems that I've seen built, the overall just appreciation for each other, and the shrimpage, I think that's the best way to say it, the shrimpage, even in platonic sense, is so powerful that all I can do is just extend my heart and my love to all these people in this community.
I don't think I could put it any better than that, and I'm not going to try. And oh gosh, we got real emotional real fast there.
Look, I am known for getting emotional very quickly. I was bullying I was bullying Raina, actually. I've mentioned her a few times in the stream, in her stream yesterday, and she was in a public voice chat, and I was like, Miss Raina, you know how much I love you. And if you don't, accept the compliment, I'm going to come into the voice chat and start yelling at you and yell loving compliments in your ear. And she didn't believe me, so I did it. And there's so much platonic shrimpage happening. And
there's the pilot episode title, Platonic Shrimpage.
Platonic shrimpage, yep. It's a good time. It's a very good time, and I have a very big heart for all these people. I went on that. I'm a little sad that they joined right after I had. I mean, more than just platonic in some senses, but that's a other story. But there is I'm a little sad that they joined after I had that entire spiel about them. I guess someone's gonna have to watch a VOD. But just in some cases, just seeing how big these friendships and passions and relationships are being built on these building blocks of just, hi, here's my PNG, let's talk, is so invigorating and opening and welcoming, because there are so many different personalities that typically you would think would clash heavily in a community so big as this. But at least for me personally, I don't think I've outright just vehemently clashed with anyone yet. And it's
refreshing.
For lack of better terms, loving and refreshing. Exactly. I'm being bullied a little bit, and stop.
The VTuber community, where the top forms of bullying include complimenting people, throwing money at them, and making art.
Yeah. Oh my god. So fun fact. And I think I've told this story before, but this will be a fun one for the chat. My very first 30 minutes as a public VTuber, not just, I'd made my Twitter, I'd made my emails, made all my accounts and everything, but I hadn't gone public about it. I joined the Aspiring VTuber server, and it was a night where a bunch of people were in a voice chat, all introducing each other to each other. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to join in on this. So I joined in the chat, and I was being quiet, and this lovely, lovely person named Kiko was just like, Lain, it's your turn to do it yourself. And, I'm awkward and embarrassed, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And I'm like, all right, hi, I'm Lain. I'm a BJD. I'm a doll. I sing. My voice is the only talent that I have going for me, and yeah. And I'm, trying to figure out what to say because I was put on the spot and really embarrassed and awkward. And Kiko just stopped, and she's like, oh my god, I love your voice. Can I call you mommy and draw you? And I had my first piece of fan art within the first hour of me VTubing, and the inherent, disgusting, vehement tears that fell from my face upon receipt were just confused, but so just, it felt right to be included in a community that was just so honest for the first time. It's so I know it's redundant, but it was so refreshing to just have someone go, wow, I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. And I was like, wait, what? Is that allowed? is this legal? Hold on, do I have to sign a contract? And it just... I love everyone. There's a few people, I love a little less, and there's a few people that I love a little more. They know who they are, and if they don't know who they are, well, they're gonna find out soon. Hunty, sweetheart. There is not a dictionary reading in. You have missed some of the very high-level vocabulary words that have come out of my mouth this stream. So, it's really nice, and it's something I needed. And I don't think I can thank everyone enough. I know I've made a couple tweets and jokes about it, about how I'm commissioning. In the VTuber world, there's this thing called Skeb. It's an art appreciated. Yes, I love my vernacular. Thank you. The Skeb, where they commission art for people, and my first few Skebs are going to be duet bases with people that mean a lot to me, or have done something, or have been influential with me. And I'm very excited. The first one, it still hasn't been accepted yet. I really hope it does, because it needs to be accepted in time for an event that will be coming up. And I can't say anything because I don't want to give away
classified
what it is. Redacted information, because I don't want this person to know who or what it is about. But I really love all these people that have made my friends and welcomed me this honestly and earnestly, because they're perfect. Oh, I'm crying a little bit. Oh, gosh.
Like I said at the top of the show, folks, we have talking points, but this is unscripted. Crying wasn't part of the plan, but here we are. So I guess bring things to a bit more lighthearted, because, that was beautiful and wonderful.
It was just emotional. Don't I'm being embarrassed.
Fun fact, though, if you want to make Lain cry, it's very easy. Just draw her.
Hey, stop!
Like I said, top forms of bullying in this community include compliments, throwing money at people, and art.
Why are you calling me out like this?
Well, hey,
How'd you stop agreeing?
If that's not my job as a host here, I really don't know what is.
I mean, you're right, but... oh, I can feel how red my cheeks are. Oh! Goodness. Okay,
So I suppose pivoting a little bit, I've got a series of questions. We don't need to spend too much time on any specific ones, but just a couple things to, get glimpses of your personality and some different things. For starters, on a traditional Dungeons & Dragons alignment chart, where would you be? So, lawful, neutral, chaotic, good, neutral, evil.
I'm curious what the chat is going to say about my, about where they think I would be on that alignment. I personally, as I know how to talk, I personally feel like I would be chaotic good.
I can see that.
Because I stand at a point of referential understanding that I want to support all these people around me, and they come first. Like, as I said, my first skebs are towards these people around me, because I would rather, support these people than myself. So I'm doing these skebs for them, but I'm very bad at, I'm taking care of myself. So support and love and interest and everything is very easy, whereas towards myself, it's a little harder, so the chaotic tends to step in. But I am also considered mom in some aspects, so the chaotic, you're grounded, and you get the look. You know the look. I feel like chaotic good fits me best. Although it looks like the chat... Oh, it looks like the chat's actually agreeing.
Yeah, the chat's
that caught me off
a combination of chaotic good and chaotic neutral.
I have to appreciate that. Oh, thank you, chat.
Yeah, just I think we've honed in on the important part, though. That Lain is chaos.
Silhouin actually sent me a little fan art piece of me holding a knife after a couple of Phasmo streams where I would find a knife and threaten other people. I wouldn't threaten them with it. I would just walk around with a knife being silly, because the ghosts don't... I ain't afraid no ghost, as the saying is. And I'm just, crab walking with a knife, and I'm like, knife crab, and it was really entertaining. So.
I feel like I just need, a gif of that. That's gonna be real good.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
So next one down the list, what is your favorite emoji? Could be just a generic one, or it could be, a specific one from a given content creator. When you're just, smashing an emoji, what is your sort of go-to?
My go-to ones usually end up being the ones with hearts in them because I just love spreading love. So like my own with the heart, it's a cop-out. Reyna's got one with a heart. I really like Nebula's with the heart eyes. Lucius has got a cute one with a big heart. There's a couple with big hearts. Hunty here in chat, he doesn't have one with a heart. Boo on him, but he does have number one boss and the 777s, which is always really nice, and I enjoy that one. So like any ones that are very like loving and full of just support, those are the ones I tend to default to the most.
That makes sense.
Yes, Sarah has explained it the most. What do you have? A knife? No! That is playing Phasmophobia with me, and then Doxalus in the corner just laughing. Oh, goodness.
There's your next Twitter recording right there, because I know you've done several. You did just this beautiful lore piece, actually, where it's this little animation of silhouette of a mother and her daughter, and it seems to be basically the moment of your inception, as it were.
The very first owner, my very
yes.
first owner, I wanted to bring that to life so that way, years later, people could understand it. And actually, Archie here has just referenced another favorite emoji of mine that got thrown into a Discord that I woke up to this morning. It is, I'm telling Lain!
Oh dear, you're a server mom when people come tattling to you.
It's an entire emoji, too, now. And
oh,
so
no.
It makes me giggle quite profusely. I woke up to that and was like, you're all grounded. Yes, I love this emoji, but you're all grounded.
Nice. Gosh, I would have had some this or that's, but the go-to is coffee or tea, and that's already been covered. So can't do horror or comedy because we know you like horror.
See, I love comedy too, though, but I do prefer horror.
Winter or summer?
Winter.
Shirts or dresses? This is a silly one, I would think, given your design.
Like shirts or dresses?
Actually, no, sorry, pants or dresses, rather, yes.
Pants or dresses. Ooh, this one's difficult because they both have their place. As in on me or in general?
In general.
In general? I suppose pants. They have more utility to them. Pockets are useful. Also, streetwear is really comfortable. And so, having nice, comfy, like streetwear pants with extra pockets and such, that's something that I don't really have access to, at least in this current outfit, until my owner buys me another ensemble. So I think the answer is going to have to be pants.
Well, actually, so on that topic of a different ensemble, what different outfits do you hope to be able to get for yourself over time? That obviously we have Lain standard here on screen with the dress and the ribbon and the big poofy sleeves. But do you have any particular styles or outfits that, you just say, one day I really hope I'm able to get this?
So actually we're in the midst of getting me in a wedding dress created, so that'll be really nice. I plan on doing a bunch of cosplays for streams. Actually, now that it's been talked about, I'd really love to wear some more streetwear. I really like it. I think it's really comfortable. Like a nice oversized hoodie, maybe with some leggings, would be really cute, I think. Things that take low maintenance. So with all the joints that I have in my fingers, it's a little difficult to deal with like certain like types of fabric. They get caught and I don't want to tear them. So streetwear I feel would be a bit easier to manage and more comfortable. Maybe suits. I would love to do a suit. Maybe like a nice pair of like fitted pants and like a jean jacket without not a jean jacket, but like a nice fitted blazer without an undershirt. because that feels nice and mature and fancy. I'm here for that one. But just like suit lane, that seems to be something that everyone seems to want to see. But I also really would like to wear that because it seems really comfortable. Um, mm, I've also really flirted with the idea of doing like outfit swaps with people that are important to me. So like, insert person here. We're gonna outfit swap, or I'm going to steal your outfit because I feel like it'd be really fun. So I guess it depends on if people, would allow me to wear their outfits. Being a doll means I have the access to play dress up, as the kids would say, on a frequent basis because, it's dress up. I'm a doll. There's a lot of access, but the suit and wedding dress seem to be the most integral ones to me right now because the wedding dress was voted on for whatever reason. People wanted to really wanted to see me in wedding dress. I don't know. Is that like my is that everyone's way of like confessing to me? Do you love me? Is this what's happening? Are you giving your hearts to me? I need to know. Is this why you want to see me in a wedding dress? And then in a suit, I guess it goes with the mature feel of being the mature woman in a suit. It's kind of hot. So I guess there's a lot of ideas in my head.
All right, artists in chat, I just got you a week's worth of content. Go.
No, wait, stop! Hold on! No, wait! Ah!
Yes, it was all a trap, Lain. It was all a setup.
Oh no. Oh, I walked right into that one and I didn't even realize it. Oh no.
Sorry, not sorry.
This is fine.
Well, apart from having lots of outfits and getting people to art bully you, what are your goals for 2021?
So my goals for 2021 are to properly debut. I want to get my model finished and do a proper debut. I would personally really like to hit 200 subs on Twitch and 1,000 on Twitter. Because for me, that feels like Auntie, shut up. Why am I blushing?
Like I said, I am an enabler.
It's like for me, I honestly and genuinely don't feel like I stack up compared to a bunch of these people that I'm friends with. And I know others would beg to differ because, I don't know, like my voice is the only thing I personally feel I have going for me other than, my visage. But so many people have so much that they can bring to the table. So the fact that I'm even where I am in terms of followers on Twitch and Twitter right now is really just heartwarming for me because I never thought I'd even get this far in the time that I've been creating content. So really my biggest goals are to create a consistent stream schedule, collaborate with people more because I love collaborating and working with my friends that I love dearly, and just growing.
I think those are fantastic.
Now that I'm embarrassed,
goals.
I'm going to take another. Now that I'm embarrassed profusely because there's a lot of people that I have big heart eyes ooh for in the chat. I'm going to take another sip of my wine because I'm embarrassed.
So one thing I want to be able to have on the show is something that even if the biggest fans come and tune in, that they're able to always walk away with at least one thing that I know is new to them. So I asked you before the show if you could find one thing that you know that you haven't said about yourself before. Mm-hmm. So what is something that people don't know about Lain Blanc? What is our exclusive?
So, the one thing, or at least something that I came up with that most people, actually, I don't think I've told this to anyone yet. My owner knows it, obviously, but I have a really big fear of open water.
Oh, because porcelain sinks?
Well, porcelain can float or sink depending on like the make and the consistency, but just it's so unknown, and you don't know what's the bottom of it, you don't know what's within it, and just wide open water, not like a swimming pool or
Yeah,
like,
it's not
you know,
aquaphobia.
a small gulf. No, it's not aquaphobia, but like big. Oh, Archie, you're scared of everything. Put a sock in it. Just especially it really most applicable to things like the sea, and it's horrifying to me because, like, what happens if, you know, my owner drops me and I'm lost away at sea? And who knows how long it would take someone to find me if they find me. Because, you know, kids lose things all the time, and it's horrifying. And I guess really more than anything, oh god, I'm tearing up thinking about it.
Oh
Like,
no, I didn't
another
mean
fear that would be
I didn't mean for
you
that to
look,
happen.
Jay,
I
Jay,
meant to make you cry in a
you
lot
were
of
the
ways,
one,
but not that way.
Jay, you're the one who literally bullied me of your own accord by going, wow, it's really easy to make Lain cry. You're right, it is, but like, the open water also can be applicable with another fear of just being forgotten, being lost. And it's just what happens when my current owner forgets about me. It's like Toy Story 4, I feel like, is the best like
I feel like
analogy.
I feel like that's every Toy Story that just
It is every toy, just being forgotten by your owner.
It's just in a different way.
Losing purpose. It's horrifying. And I don't want to be forgotten by the people who love me most.
Well, as a bit of comfort for what it's worth, if you were to fall into the ocean, I'm sure that Gargura would find you and love you.
I'd be down for that. Let's go to Atlantis. Let's go.
Yuck.
I'm like a combination of tearing up and blushing. What if... I have a problem.
Good, this means I've done my job as the host.
Goodness. This is fine.
But, we are starting to get to the end of our show, but before we go, are there any projects or collabs that you have coming up that you want to spotlight? I know that you have at least one particular stream coming soon that you've told me about, but what is next for Lain Blanc?
So currently what's next for Lain Blanc is getting Lain Blanc. Wow, I can't even say my name right. What's next for me is obviously, you know, getting my model finished so I can start streaming correctly. I may actually have a Vroid 3D model in the works as well, depending on a couple people that I've talked to. But and I'm extending this just to people in the chat. Please reach out if you are interested. And if you're not interested, I'm probably going to reach out to you anyway, or I'm just, you know, we all have, you know, sometimes a shared brain cell. I actually am going to start streaming the Fatal Frame series soon, and I plan on bringing in guest VTubers to join with me. Now, while Fatal Frame is a single-player horror game, very good. Love this game. Love this franchise. I plan on doing at least games 1 through 3, possibly Maiden of Blackwater, depending on how well I can get it to run. But it's also a really clunky game and not a fun time. But for lack of better terms, I want to bring on my friends to either scare them shitless or shit on the game in the most loving manner possible, because wow, the story is
I don't see why these need to be mutually exclusive.
I mean, a little bit of A, a little bit of B, depends on the person. But like yikes, it's like the amount of I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on this stream, but there are some very interesting stories in terms of Fatal Frame, including, you know, ghosts, incest, and spooky ghost hunting with cameras.
Oh my. I might not tune in for that one because I'm a wimp when it comes to horror. I do not like horror. But like
but if anything,
like, well, I don't mind jump scares, and I guess maybe it wouldn't be so bad when it's somebody else playing and just, you know, reacting to watching them play. I don't like watching horror films. I don't like playing horror games myself, but it would probably be different watching a horror stream, so maybe I'll see that.
Fatal Frame's very big on the jump scares more than anything, more than actually
jump
being
scares
scary,
aren't,
but
yeah,
the atmosphere is also kind of intense. I know the first time my owner and I played the very first Fatal Frame was many moons ago, and we, you know, did it correctly, all the lights off, late at night, with the headphones on, And my owner's younger sister decided to scare the ever-loving hell out of her by sneaking up on her in the middle of the night, and the blood-curdling scream that came out of my owner's mouth was impressive.
Oh dear.
I'm honestly still shocked the cops were not called with the sound that came out of her mouth, but that it happened. Love some horror.
Well, I'll have to give it a chance.
Archie, how do you like horror when you're a chicken shit?
As we wait for Archie's response. Also, I'm now realizing... Oh, no, wait, no, okay, good. The chat is still appearing on stream. When I glanced at it for a second, I didn't see it, and I was like, oh no, did I accidentally put the chat box on the wrong layer? It was like, oh god, no.
Oh yeah, no, it's
True horrors as a streamer.
It fades after a while.
Yeah.
Sarah, I make a special case for you. You know what? Another fun Lain fact. I don't like birds. I think they are evil. They are the worst creatures in the known to man. I have never had a good experience with a bird. They are awful. Sarah is the exception currently. But birds are, awful. They're evil. They're so rude.
Breaking news, Lain Blanc hates Kiara.
No! Hold on! Kiara's a special exception. Don't put words in my mouth. I've never had good interactions with birds. I've just never had good interactions with birds. Nope. Yikes. That's yikes for yikes in chat. Nope, not today.
Goodness. Well,
actual birds, personification.
Okay, that's fair.
People who are built from birds, actual birds. So Kiara and Sarah here, they are okay because they are not physically birds.
All right, breaking news. Lain does not hate Kiara.
If I'm bootleg Callie, am I allowed to hate Kiara?
Ooh, good point. Probably not.
After all, it's time to say goodbye. The end. I'm not sorry, but I'll see you again sometime.
And that, I think, is the perfect note to start to wind down the first episode of Vtuber Talk. Just, Lain, I really just cannot thank you enough for being here tonight. This has been so much fun.
It's been an absolute blast. Even if I've embarrassed myself profusely by gushing over several people that are here in chat, I'm looking at Archie and Sarah and Hunty and Docs, because I'm like twiddling my fingers together, uwu style, as the kiddos say, because I'm like, oh no, I love them. I'm weak. But no, this has been a fun time, Jay.
Yeah, so once again, thank you, Lain, and thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're an artist or know an artist who might want to help spruce this place up, please let me know. Contact me on Twitter. This is just the beginning of Vtuber Talk. I hope to have many guests and have many great times and great memories here. So I hope you all continue to support me in the show. And, well, that's about all we've got. So until next time, good night, everybody.